What's up, everybody? Welcome to Human Innovation Tarot. My name is Eddie with Imagine Life Development Center, here to do the mid-July love readings for my Aquariuses out there. If you're new to my channel, I would greatly appreciate it if you click the like, share, and subscribe button for me. All the other information you need to know is in the description box below. So what we're going to take a look at here for your current love and romance, we're going to take a look at the hurdles, obstacles, and challenges you guys are facing, the advice, what you need to do to overcome those challenges, and then we'll take a look at the outcome, basically what you can expect if you listen to the advice. So the advice is like the most important part of the reading, and this will be good for the next 30 days or so. So let's take a look and see what the main challenge is for you guys. All right, so we have the Conquer energy here. So this is a lot like the Chariot in Tarot, and basically what this thing is, because this is your guys' challenge energy. So right now you guys are having a hard time overcoming something. There's a problem, there's an obstacle, there's a hurdle, there's a challenge. I mean, that's the whole category we're dealing with here. There's something that you're finding particularly difficult to overcome here. But the good thing about the Conqueror card, though, is that it indicates that the energy is available for you guys to overcome it. So that's the upside. The upside is you can. There's an opportunity here. The energy is conducive. The environment is conducive for you to overcome this problem, whatever it is. And of course, we're going to clarify everything, so we'll get more details in just a second. So what is the advice? What is the advice, please? All right. The advice is fulfillment. So essentially the advice is for you, whatever you're struggling with, whatever, decision you're having to make, or whatever the obstacle is here, the advice is in regards to you needing to make this decision. Obviously, this is a relationship reading, so this would be about love, relationships, partnerships, things like that. Whatever decision you need to make, you should make this decision based on what would be most fulfilling for you long term. But there's also an energy of consideration. In other words, if you have a pattern of ending up in relationships with people where it's only fulfilling at first, so the infatuation stays, whatever, you get into a relationship and things are good at the beginning, but as the relationship goes on and progresses, you find out that you're not aligned with this person, or you keep attracting the wrong types of person, or there's a certain type of person, that has certain types of characteristics, qualities, traits, what have you, that you keep attracting to your life. And those people tend to be, either unfaithful, they're players, or they're just not on the same page with you. They want the same things in life, all that kind of stuff, right? So, essentially the advice is saying, do you really know what makes you happy? Do you really know what makes you fulfilled? Or have you been tricked? Have you been fooled? Have you pursued things in the past where you thought it was going to fulfill you, and in the end, it really turned out to disappoint you? Right? And so we'll see more, and when we clarify that in just a minute. So what's the outcome? Well, what's the outcome? So really, this card to me screams clarity. It's about really getting clear on what you want, which will help you overcome what you don't want, whatever this challenge is, so that you can stop this kind of stuff. So this is the superficial card. So what the outcome is saying is basically, because all three cards are tied to, all the energies are tied together here. So I have a feeling that because especially with this fulfillment card being in the center here, that you attract or have been attracting recently a lot more superficial type relationships. Like they may be very intense or passionate or fun, adventurous at the beginning, because that's, how it is in most relationships. You meet somebody and you're super excited. You feel like you have a lot in common with this person. And, our brains are being hijacked by chemicals because we're in the infatuation phase. And then once we get to know this person, we realize we don't really have a whole lot in common, right? And then most people put their best foot forward, right? They're, when you first meet someone, it's, they want to make a good impression. So they're on their best behavior. And then as you get into the relationship, then you start to kind of see the real person because you start to relax. They start to relax. You start to act more like yourself. They start to act more like themselves. And then once you've crossed certain milestones within the relationship, the newness begins to wear off and people begin to settle in to who they really are, and that can happen between 30 and 90 days, usually about 90 days, but it just depends on the relationship. Now, at the bottom of the deck, we have not aligned. I know it's kind of hard to see. This deck that I'm using is a custom deck. It's a deck that I made for myself. But so when I made it, I chose a font that I thought would show up a little bit better than this. So, but it's fine. I'm not selling these decks or anything. So, I know what it means, even if it can't be read. So, but the bottom line is this is essentially saying that, the challenge that you've had in your relationships is that you've not been aligned to people that you thought were the right match for you. You keep attracting people that are superficial, that are not in alignment to who you really are, and therefore your relationships become very disappointing. Okay? And so the advice here really is all about you getting clear on why you keep attracting those same types of people and getting clear on what types of people you really want. Right? Most people will say what they don't want, but they can't tell you what they do want, right? They'll say, well, I don't want somebody who's a liar. I don't want someone who's a cheater. I don't want someone who's lazy. I don't want someone who's abusive, and the list goes on. But rarely do you hear someone give a list of things that they do want that aren't superficial things. Like, well, I want them to be 6 feet tall, or I want her to look like a supermodel. I want them to have a six pack, or I want them to be in this kind of shape. I want them to look a certain way. Like, most people will tell you what they want superficially on a superficial level, but outside of that, most people have no clue what they want. They just will tell you what they don't want. And those are two very different things. Okay. And then the more important thing when it comes to attracting the type of thing that you want, it's not about you having a list of things that you do or you don't want a partner. The more important thing is you becoming the person that you desire. That's the most important thing. We need to become the thing that we desire. And most people don't do that either. Most people want somebody that is out of their league, right? If you're working, just like, let's say you work, you make $30,000, $40,000 a year, you eat fast food, you go home and you spend most of your time either scrolling on your phone or watching TV, and your life is pretty much on repeat. You don't really have an interesting life, if you're being honest. But the type of people that those people want to have is they want someone who makes six figures or double six figures, triple six figures. They want someone who has, a huge, a substantially larger house, lots of money in their bank account, a really nice car. They're in excellent shape. They got the perfect body. Most people want the thing or the type of person that they themselves are not, right? They're kind of hypocritical in that way. And I'm not judging, because we're all guilty of it, myself included. I've been that way in my past. And then as I grew spiritually, I realized is like, I'm never gonna find the type of woman that I desire until I become an equal type of man, right? Because that woman that I desire, that's, that has all these qualities, characteristics, and is my ideal partner, she wouldn't be attracted to someone like me because I don't live a type of lifestyle that she would look at and go, oh man, I'm so attracted to this guy, and I had to get real with myself. It's like, yeah, if I put myself in that woman's shoes, I wouldn't be attracted to me either, because it's not equal. It's not aligned. It's not fair. It's not balanced. Now, am I going to say that's for everybody? Are there people out there who, who are in relationships with those who aren't equal? Of course, there's an exception to everything, but in most cases, that's not how it works, right? So, let's clarify. Why is the conqueror energy here? The Ten of Swords wanted to flip over. It didn't, but it wanted to. Which tells me you've had a lot of heartache, you've had a lot of pain, you've had a lot of painful endings, things like that. Okay, there's way too many that just came out. But first of all, we got the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, you've had a hard time finding somebody who's equal, because the Six of Pentacles is about equal give and take. It's about generosity. It's finding somebody who is able to give equally as much as you do and receive equally as much as you do, because it's not just about what's given to us, it's also about what we receive as well, because energy has to flow both ways. Now, the other cards that we have, and I'm not going to keep them all out here, I'm going to put a few back in the deck, but we have the Four of Swords, the Two of Cups, the Star, and the Devil, right? So what this basically is telling me here, and we'll start with the Devil. Also, you could be, here's your energy, by the way. The star represents you, Aquarius. Now, in the past, you could have been dealing with a Capricorn. You don't have to be. The Devil is Capricorn energy. However, in a more general sense, the Devil talks about all the negative behaviors, the temptation, the lust, the addictions, and really the vice, anything about these past people that you're drawn to. So it's basically being drawn to, the Devil represents the people that you have not been aligned with in your past, right? Whatever those characteristics, qualities, addictions, toxicity is, whatever that stuff is, that's what the Devil represents. The people, the superficial energies that were not in alignment with you in the past. So the Devil is tied to the not aligned energy. Now the Star is about you having hope that your wish will come true. This is you needing to not allow your own fears, uncertainty, and doubt to lead you into this Devil energy. You don't want to become the Devil. You don't want to become hopeless, fearful, doubtful, and all of that. So the Star is telling you to remain hopeful. Your wish will come true, but you have to do the work. You can't do nothing and expect things to change. Nothing changes until it changes. But the Star is here to encourage you that there is a bright future. You can have your wish. And it's also a card of saying it's time for you to heal, because we have the Four of Swords and the Star. The Four of Swords is the minor arcana version of the Star. It's also a card of, while you're healing, while you're taking a time out, while you're healing, this is a time of reflection. And so you need to reflect on what it is you desire in a partnership, the Two of Cups. Okay, now the Two of Cups is talking about everything. The Two of Cups refers to the relationships that haven't been in alignment with you. The Two of Cups refers to the relationships that will be in alignment with you if you do the work, if you heal, if you get clear on what you want, and you align yourself to that, and you don't make exceptions, and you're consistent, right? So you can't, in other words, you can't just think it. You can't just have a desire, and you can't just think something. It has to evolve beyond just the thought or beyond just the desire, right? And that's really where the aces, what the aces represent in tarot. Like, for example, the Ace of Swords. Now, I know that's not on the table, but I'm just using it as an example. The Ace of Swords is the initial thought. It's the realization. It's like, oh, I need to do this. It's getting clear. It's like, okay, if I'm going to do this, you know, I have to have clarity. I need to know, right? Like I have to understand logically, mentally, what it is that I need to do to get an outcome. The same thing with the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is a desire. It's an impulse. It's the motivation, right? It's that sense of being intentional or being deliberate, right? It's like, okay, and it's the card of action because wands are all about action. So when you get clarity of mind, which is the Ace of Swords, and you infuse that and you marry that to action, the motivation to go do something, then you actually, you know, because remember those are the aces are the beginning. It's just the first fruits, the impulse of a thought, the impulse or the motivation that stirs inside of you that says, hey, let's go do something. Let's take action on this. You haven't taken the action yet, but that energy, you feel it in your body. It's like, okay, you know, like for example, let's say you've been single for a really long time and you're starting to feel that impulse inside of you. It's like, hey, I want to put myself out there. I want to go on a date. I want to maybe put myself, start an online dating account or whatever, go out, with my friends this weekend, and maybe I'll meet somebody. Whatever you're comfortable with, right? It's just that initial drive, or like if you get a craving to go out to eat for something, right? You're at home and you start to feel hungry. And like, man, what would be really good right now? I want to go get, whatever. Like you want a certain type of pizza, you want a certain type of food, you want a certain type of takeout. And you feel it. You get the craving, you get that desire. This is what you want. Well, before you can have it, you're going to have to get up, get in your car, drive to the restaurant or drive to the, through the drive-through, whatever, and go get the thing. Or at the very least, you have to pick up your phone, put the order in, and then have it delivered, right? There's still an action step. That's the point that I'm trying to make here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the devil on the table because it's a major arcana and it represents the challenge because it's the most challenging energy, right? So now let's take a look at the fulfillment. And the fulfillment was tied to the star, which is your energy. It's you getting your wish if you listen to the advice. Because again, this is the advice column and this is the most important part of the reading. Okay, so we got the Two of Pentacles in reverse. And so yeah, this is all about finding balance within yourself through finding clarity. And it's also because when the Ace of Pentacles is upright, even though you might have a lot going on, you might be juggling things, it's maintainable. It's saying like you have the ability to juggle. You're capable of having multiple things going on. You're capable of juggling these things successfully. That's what the Two of Pentacles upright means. When it's in reverse, it's saying you're not. It's saying that there's confusion. It's saying that you're indecisive. It's saying that you don't feel confident in your ability to decide or to balance things or to juggle certain areas of your life. And in this case, I really feel like it has to do with decision making. So you're lacking the clarity and there's a lot of uncertainty and there's a lot of confusion about what to do to get this fulfillment here. So the advice is, well, since you lack the clarity, you need to get the clarity, which is everything we've been saying so far up until this point in the reading. And the star, by the way, which I didn't mention, is one of the meanings of the star is also clarity, because the star card comes after the Tower in tarot. So the Tower, as we know, blows everything up in our life. It just completely wipes everything out. It's a powerfully destructive force, right? It's kind of like, no pun intended, but it's kind of like the 9/11 card in tarot, right? It's like, it's a sunny Tuesday morning and everything's fine. And then out of nowhere, it's like shit starts blowing up and it's all over TV and it's like, oh my gosh. And then the world changes forever. Like our whole country changed after 9/11/2001. And for those who are old enough to remember it, I know exactly where I was that morning, watching it on TV, the whole 9 yards. Everything changed after that. That's what a tower does. A tower will change your life forever. Again, we don't have the tower on the table, but my point is the star comes after the tower. So there's hope after the storm. There's hope after these devastating times. There's always the hope for a better future. There's always hope for tomorrow. There's always hope for healing. If you break your leg, or if you've ever broken a bone in your body and you put a cast on, well, you're already on the road to recovery, right? There's hope for recovery. You're going to heal. It's going to take some time, but you will heal. You're going to come back better and stronger, because when a bone breaks, it heals back stronger than it was before. That's what that star card is referring to. It's the hope, but it's also the clarity that after these devastating, painful times, you will heal, you will bounce back, you will learn, but you have to be intentional. You can't just sit around and wait for change to happen. You have to participate in that change. So we have the Three of Swords, which is everything that I just said. The Three of Swords is, the pain and the pain and heartache of the past that you experienced. Remember at the beginning of the reading, we had that Ten of Swords that wanted to hop out, which is an indication that you guys have been through a lot of pain and a lot of heartache because of these toxic relationships that have happened in your life, and they've taken a toll on you personally. They've taken a toll on your desires, on you mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. They've taken a toll on you. And the more painful relationships we go through, it's like the further away from love we start to become cynical, jaded, and skeptical, right? And so we don't want that anymore, because look at the bottom of the deck, we have the Hangman, which is all about letting go to gain something new. So it's a card of release. It's also a card about gaining a new perspective to have the clarity that we've been talking about. So in this sense, this is talking about clarity, which is the sunlight around the head, the beams around the hangman's or the hangwoman's, head there, the crown chakra and all of that. And then it's also a card of things being up in the air until those other things happen. All those meanings are a part of this card, right? There's a delay. You're not going to find this fulfillment until you let go of the things that no longer serve you, which is that not aligned energy. You gain a new perspective on what you need to start looking at and evaluating in your life, what you need to get clear on. And then once you've let go of the toxic stuff and once you've gotten clear on what needs to change, as you begin to take action towards those changes, then the delay, the pause of the Hangman will dissipate, and you'll move into you'll move towards the types of relationships that you desire here. So let's take a look at the outcome. So the outcome is the superficial card, which really is a play on words, basically saying to overcome these superficial relationships, for you to find meaningful relationships that are aligned for you, you have to do the things that we've spoken of. So we have the Six of Swords that just came out, which has some of that Hangman. It's like the minor arcana of the Hangman. It's letting go. It's moving on. It's moving on from the Three of Swords. The Five of Swords, which isn't on the table, but I'm mentioning it because it comes before the Six of Swords. The Five of Swords is about conflict. It's about aggression. It's the things, self-sabotage. It's the things that are hurting us. It's any type of chaotic event, stress. It's anything in our life that's creating conflict, whether it's literal, whether it's metaphorical, whether it's seen, tangible, or unseen, whether it's just within ourselves or whether it's external or all of the above. It's conflict energy. To move on from the conflict, to find peace, to find tranquility, to move towards the things that are aligned for you, right? The calm after the storm, the beauty after, the beauty in ashes, all that. You have to let go of all this stuff in the past here, which also includes the superficial energy, which will also require you to look within yourself. It requires you to go within and evaluate any part of yourself where you might be, there might be some things within you that are superficial. And that's why you attract superficial partners. You know, like maybe you, I don't know, and we're all guilty of this. We're all guilty of this, myself included. We all have things that, you know, until we level that part of ourselves up, it remains at a low vibrational level. And superficial things are low vibrational, right? Like if all you care about is someone's appearance and their looks, and you don't care about anything else, or there's some other, you know, silly thing like, well, you know, I won't date anybody that's not a vegan, you know, and it's like, well, okay. I mean, you're allowed to do that if you want, but it's kind of superficial, right? Like what somebody eats versus what somebody doesn't eat is not a life, you know, it's not a life threatening thing. That's a personal decision. It's a personal choice, right? That's kind of a silly analogy, but it's relevant. You know, for others, it's like, well, I won't date anybody that doesn't go to the gym 7 days a week like I do. Well, that's kind of superficial. Why can't they go to the gym 1 day, 2 days, 3 days? You know, like I'm not saying that their health shouldn't be important. I'm saying, why do they have to be obsessed with it if that's your thing, right? So whatever that is for you, and I'm just throwing out some examples, but whatever those superficial things are, make sure that you don't have that within you, right? There's a saying from Jesus in the Bible that says, don't point out the speck in somebody else's eye and avoid the plank in your own eye, right? And so then the last card we have is the Magician. And the Magician is saying the power is in your hands, right? And so one of the more common explanations of the Magician is the Magician has all the tools and resources they need to manifest, a certain outcome. And that's true, but really the Magician is a card of taking responsibility. In other words, yes, we have the power, we have the ability, it's within all possibilities exist within our body. We have the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual abilities, which are the 4 tools that are on the table of the Magician. And it's up to us to utilize those tools to get a result. Because you can have all those tools and not use them, and then what, right? Nothing's going to happen. So the Magician card is all about reminding us that the power lies within us to create the life, create the reality that we desire. And so to stop having these superficial connections here, we've got to let go of it. We've got to let go of any parts of ourselves and evolve those parts of ourselves. And then we have to get clear about what we do want, and we have to actually take action. It can't just be a thought. It can't just be a desire that's like, well, maybe one day I'll find love, or maybe one day this will change. No, it'll change when we change it. And the bottom of the deck, there's that clarity again, the Ace of Swords we've been talking about. So really the theme for your reading, Aquarius, is all about clarity. That's it. That's where the process begins with you. It's you getting clear on what needs to change. 2, letting go, cutting out all the things that no longer serve you and never looking back. And then 3, taking action, implementing whatever needs to change in your life. And if you do those things, you're guaranteed this fulfillment outcome, or this fulfillment energy, which is essentially the 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles energy in tarot. Okay. So I know that was a little bit of a lot, went a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I felt led to give you guys the full message as it was coming through. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you haven't already, I would greatly appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, and share all the things. And again, this reading will be good for about the next 30 days. And I will see you guys soon on the next one. And as always, love and light.